Right. Are there any moments when you look back at your career that stand out as like maybe the one or two moments that you'll be telling these stories forever? Is like that was such an unbelievably cool thing that you can talk about. I'm sure a lot of it's classified, but is there anything that you can talk about where you look back and you'll always say, I cannot believe how awesome that was?
Yeah, well, definitely. I have one, and I've said so. People that are listening that have already heard this, it's repeat because the one that does stick out to me. So when we go on target, we're a force, right? I mean, there's guys with you, like so. There's, I mean, I would say 50, 60 targets where there's been multiple dudes like in a compound running around shooting at us, and we're shooting at them. But you always have a team with you or two teams with you. So there was one time where I laddered up on the wall, and there just happened to be one ladder on the wall, so I was the only one up there. Other teams were on other walls in the compound, but they couldn't see what was going on. So I was up on the wall, and I just got lucky as hell where I was at in that compound. I was the only one who could see. Like no one else could take shots or anything, and it just all hell broke loose. And so I got very seldom do you get to even make your own kill, but like individually, because you have we're all so good that everyone's so fast. If there's a bad guy, we're all shooting them, right?
Right.
So and then it's even more seldom to get a chance to shoot multiple dudes by yourself. So I was on the wall. All hell broke loose. I had like I think it was 5 dudes in the compound that were. I mean, I had RPGs coming at me. I had grenades being thrown at me from the left. RPG coming at me from the front. I had small arms coming at me. I'm the only one of them up on this wall. Um, and I got to engage all those targets by myself, and it was not only it was good for like training because up until then multiple targets by yourself, it was always like the rhythm drill or cadence drill. And I remember like, I mean, to this day, and it's good as an instructor, I can like now bring this to civilians, like better ways to train. I remember on the wall by myself shooting these dudes thinking the fucking way that I've been training multiple targets is fucking totally wrong. Like rhythm drill and cadence drill is not a thing because you can only shoot one guy, like you can only kill one guy at a time, right? And that's what it was. So it was cool for that on the train side. The funny thing was on it because everyone wants to get some. So like we for some reason we only had one ladder. And like while I was shooting, you could like I don't know if I saw them or I just heard them underneath me. They were all like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like I'm just getting it on right on the wall. No one else was getting any play. So they were scrambling to get fucking ladders. The other teams were trying to come over the wall that I was at. It was, but that would like if I was to pick out any hit that I've been on, that would have been the one that stands out because I actually got to engage multiple threats by myself with no help.
And
It just never happens.
was that in Iraq or Afghanistan?
That was Afghanistan.
That is absolutely wild. When you guys come back from a mission, or maybe you're back in the U.S. after deployment, is it kind of like how athletes they kind of one up each other, right? When they're like, yeah, you threw 3 touchdowns, but I threw two and I rushed for two. Do you guys like get into debates over like who
Oh
did
yeah.
the most badass shit?
Yep. Absolutely. It's usually the new guys, because they I'm telling you, it is the greatest show on earth. Like we get to pick targets that we know we're gonna like either take contact at or it's gonna be a big target. Um, so they're finally getting their shot to like get in real good gunfights, and it's always the newer guys that are coming in. They're like, man, did you see me do this? Or did you see me do that? And it's always the guys that have like multiple deployments with they're like, man, we all fucking did the same thing. They're like, oh well, we were the first though. you know yeah, we talk about it all the time. I mean,
That's
it's funny. It's funny to hear the perspective of the newer guys that are just getting there compared to the guys that are seasoned, that have been there a while. It's just it's like literally it becomes just an everyday occurrence. I mean, we're going on target sometimes three times a day.
Three
Which is
times a
fucking-
day?
Which is fucking just insane. Yeah.
And did you have a problem with that? Or you're like, hey, if there's a fourth and a fifth option, let's go hit
Yeah.
more targets today.
For me and most of the guys I work with, yeah, it's I like to if you were you in college?
When what, 9/11 happened?
No, like did you go to college?
Oh yeah, I went to college. I went to the
Was there,
university.
ever, was there ever a time where there was like your guys, your buddies were going out to a party, you didn't really want to go, but they were all going, and then you're like, "Fuck, I'm gonna go because it might be the best fucking party ever."
Right, you don't
Like,
want to
didn't
miss
like
it.
miss it, right? Because you didn't want to miss out on like the best fucking thing. Well, that's how gunfights work. Like you never wanted. Whenever you heard another team going out and getting a good gunfight, you're fucking jealous. Like you were like, God damn it. So you wanted to go out constantly because you're always looking for the best party. You know, you're always looking for the next best gunfight.